My 3 easy steps for manifesting. If you're new to manifesting and you want to know how to do it, because there's a lot of advice out there, I've simplified it. Okay, stick around till the end of the video because this is really, really going to help you. Okay, welcome to Patty's World. I'm Patty, and really, I help you figure out what it is that you want and align you, help you shift so that you're able to align with that dream life because you're absolutely worthy of living the life of your dreams. Okay, so let's talk about my easy steps for manifesting. And manifesting should be easy. And once you understand it at a core level, it should be easy. You should be able to do it you should be able to do it by default because you're always manifesting. Manifesting is just another word for creation, and you're always creating in your life. The big question is whether you're doing it intentionally or manifesting by default and just being a passive observer and reactor, a laser reactor in your life. And you're not really creating intentionally with your mind because we first create in the mind and imagination in the world of the 4D. Okay, so let's talk about the easy steps. And I approach this from law of assumption, but also it ties into law of vibration and law of attraction. But I predominantly approach everything through law of assumption because I always focus on us. Who are we being and who are we being and having what we want or what we desire? But really, to me, all the spiritual universal laws are different roads to get to the same location, to get to the same outcome, to get you to your dream or your goal or your desire. So you find whatever works for you. This is what I found works for me, how I teach it and how I teach it to other people. And my clients get big results in their life, including one who got pregnant. But I simplify it. And then when I talk to you as a client, I figure out, okay, where are you struggling? And then we go from there. But I like simplicity. Simplicity. Okay. And I did a video on this early on, but I'm touching on it again because I think it's so important. The overarching theme, the umbrella, how to manifest. Okay, so here it is. Number one, get clear. What is it that you desire? Because a lot of people say a lot of money, but then get very clear on that. What does a lot of money mean? Figure out a dollar amount or a lifestyle. Have a vision in your mind. Get very clear. And that takes some time to sit with yourself and get clear and think about what it is you want and why you want it. You want to figure out the why do you want it because there's always a feeling or a mindset or a belief attached to the why we want something. We want money because it'll pay our bills, it'll remove stress, the freedom, the being able to not worry about life and do the things that you love. So that's really freedom, choices, security, safety. It goes beyond just having money. What do you want to feel in regards to having a lot of money? The safety, the security, the stability, the freedom, the choices, the doing the things you love, the happiness, the joy, everything attached to having money. The same thing with your SP. We want something because, or we want someone because we're going to feel loved, chosen, valued, important, whatever it is, whatever void or emotion we're trying to find with whatever thing or person we're trying to draw into our life. The same thing with looks, with health. You want to enjoy your life. You want freedom. You want to feel good. You want to feel better. And it always ties into joy and freedom, worthiness, safety, security. Those are the big ones that I find overarching themes or the emotions tied to what people usually want to manifest: money, health, or an SP. And something around that. There's always other things, but those are the big things, right? Money in whatever capacity. So get very clear on what you want, what the wish fulfilled is, how you would see yourself if you were already living in the wish fulfilled. If I waved a wand right now and gave you exactly what you wanted, how would you be living? How would you be thinking? How would you be behaving? What would you be doing today, right now, operating as the person who has what they want? And get very clear on all of that, right? Because this ties into manifestation, which brings me to step number 2, which is where we go into the techniques. And all techniques work. They're all good. You need to find the ones that work for you. I started with meditation and visualization. And there's different ways to visualize. Meditation, you could do guided meditations. You could sit in stillness and turn off our thinking mind, our conscious mind. And really, meditation, when you shut off your thinking mind, your conscious mind, it opens you up to really draw in because it brings a lot of peace and calmness. You're releasing or letting go of a lot of thinking or heaviness tied to our mind that's always running wild, running around like a little rabbit, right? Just always go, go, go. That's why, right, as you're entering to sleep in that theta brainwave state is an optimal time to visualize because your subconscious mind is open and receptive. And whatever you're visualizing and imagining, your subconscious mind that doesn't know the difference between real or imaginary takes it as fact. It imprints on your mind and it seeks to make it real and true in your life as you go on in your reality. So every night before I go to bed, I always go into visualization. I imagine myself being, doing, and having whatever it is that I want, the good that I want. I see myself and imagine myself in the wish fulfilled. That's also a Neville technique with a state akin to sleep. And he's a big visualization, a big visualizer. But I've also started scripting, and scripting can be as detailed as writing a letter to yourself from your future self, or as simple as just writing 1 or 2 sentences of gratitude from the version of you that already has it and is it. You can do mirror work, you can do affirmations, whatever implies to you that you have it and that you are it. Whatever implies to you, whatever technique moves you into the state of the person who has their desire, the money, the lifestyle, the relationship. You could do rampages of affirmation, talk to yourself in the third person or the first person, whatever shifts you and moves you to the state of the person who has what they want. Find those techniques. They're so important because techniques also work to reprogram your subconscious mind, but they also help to move us into that state of the person who has it. Because remember, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. So you want to be the person who has what they want. What you are, the law of resonance. You will resonate with whatever version of you you are being. So if you're being the person who has their desire, that is what you will draw into your life. So you could do it through the law of resonance, and that's where people talk about vibration. I do law of assumption, and I step in my mind into the version of me who has an and is it. I create an image of myself, and that is visualization. That can be scripting, that can be affirming. Who would I be if I was living right now and making choices and thinking as the person who has their wish fulfilled? And that includes to dealing with triggers in the present, powerful now. We only have the present moment. Other than that, we're always living in our mind and imagination, either thinking and worrying about the future or thinking about the past. Psychologically, we're either bringing one of those into our life, but we only have the powerful eternal now. And in the powerful eternal now, you can create whatever version of you you want. You go into consciousness, which is another word for your mind or imagination. You go in there and you create the version of you who has their desire, and imagine yourself already being that version of you. You can do that all day long. You could do it while you're stopped at a stop sign. Take a couple of seconds to imagine yourself already having it. What would you be doing? How would you be behaving? How would you be thinking? How would you be feeling? Tie an emotion to it. When I think about wealth and money, I imagine myself having the money, but I feel the relief. I feel the safety. I feel the security. I feel that everything's taken care of. I feel that I can get everything I want, that I never have to worry. I feel the freedom. I feel the relief. I feel the opportunity. I feel all those emotions tied to having the money, and I am the person who has it, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to ask, please, or beg, or do anything of that sort because I already have it. I've created it in the mind. And the mirror, the world of the 3D, will reflect it back to me because everything is first created in the mind. So number 2, that's where the techniques come in. You could do whatever you want with techniques. You could Google best manifestation techniques and try the ones that work for you. I'm having a manifestation mastermind workshop. I will go deep into techniques, the ones that I like, but you can also ask me about ones that you're trying to start out, or I can give you different ways to approach them. And there's so many ways. There's different techniques. And yes, they all work. You just have to find what you resonate with at the time and whatever you're trying to draw in. And all those 5-5-5 and 80-20, whatever, they're really just techniques. They're techniques. You're giving yourself a permission slip, as Bashar calls it, a permission slip that allows you to have and to be the person you want. Okay. And number 3 for manifesting, and this is huge, and I believe in it. Some people don't. That's okay. I think self-concept is key. It's critical Neville taught this. Self-concept matters. Whatever you believe and assume about yourself is what you're going to draw into your life. Now, you may believe that you can manifest and you don't have to work on self-concept, and that's okay. The thing is, you may be able to manifest the money and the SP, but moving forward, who are you being? Are you being the person who had their manifestation, but then you go back to that default programming of, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, he doesn't want me, I lose the money, I don't get to keep it, it doesn't stay? Until you reprogram that identity, that self-identity, which is all self-concept, you will stay on a hamster wheel of living the same type of circumstances. And you may be able to manifest, that's when SPs are hot and cold, they keep coming in, but until you live as the highest, most elevated version of you, which is all self-concept, which is the person who knows her worth and value, which is the person who is a great money manager, that the money gets to stay, money is drawn to her, she's a great business manager, has great relationships, loves her life, and whatever other description and adjective you want to add to that, and however you see yourself, whatever new beliefs, powerful beliefs, you want to live and operate from, then you will keep having the same experiences in your life from the old version of you who's not wanted, chosen, loved, unlucky, whatever. You may be able to draw in one isolated thing, the money or your SP in and out, but his treatment overall, he'll show up being the same person because you're still operating as the same person. And as we know, until you change, until you create from within and change the concept that you have of yourself, nothing outside of you will change. You may be able to manifest, but you will stay right where you are at that level. You're not living as the most highest, ideal, badass version of you, however you want to define it. I always say the most ideal version of you. Who would she be? And when I go through something unwanted, remember, we're always in process. And I had to be reminded of that today because there's something that I kept ruminating over because I'm human. And I had to catch myself. I'm like, I want to stop thinking about this. Why is this living rent-free in my head? I had to sit down with myself and ask, okay, well, who am I being? Why do I feel like I have to prove or justify or be right? I don't have to. I have nothing to prove. I am worthy because I am worthy, because I exist, because I'm breathing. I don't have to prove my worth and value. And I just move on with my life. So who would I be right now? I am the version of me. I'm stepping into the version of me who has let this go, who has moved past this. This is in my rearview mirror, and I no longer talk about it or give it any mental space or any headroom in my mind. It's over. Nothing and no one is living rent-free in my mind until I decide. And I decide that I control my thoughts, and I decide what's true in my reality. So I'm releasing this, I'm letting this go, and I'm stepping into the powerful version of me who says no more. I let this go. I moved on with my life, and I'm at a different place, and all my relationships are positive and healthy and supportive, mutually reciprocal. I only deal with people who are healed, who have worked on themselves, or my relationships are trustworthy, are loving, are supportive, and I no longer engage or tolerate disrespectful, toxic behavior in my life. That old version of me doesn't exist anymore. I learned the lesson. I don't have to be upset. I was mad at myself because I allowed it. But now that I know better, I'm doing better. And I've moved into the version of me who loves herself, chooses herself, knows her worth and value, and no longer, because I think and act and operate as the highest version of me, I no longer entertain petty nonsense, petty hurt, toxicity, any nonsense. I don't prove my worth and value. And I move on with my life because I know who I am. Period, point blank. One of the most powerful shifts that you can have when you step into the highest version of your concept of self. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, and you don't really care what anyone else says. You stand firm in your belief and in who you are. And so everything ties into self-concept, because when you're thinking and operating from that very high elevated place, that high self-concept, the mirror, because life is a mirror, and the 3D is always mirroring to us how we feel about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves will reflect that new elevated version of you. And people will show up treating you better, talking to you better. It's amazing when you have those shifts. And some people on TikTok in my comments have been already telling me, oh my God, Patty, you've changed my life. I've started doing all of this. And it's crazy how when you change from within, the world outside of you reflects it, it changes, it shifts. No one to change but the concept of self. no one to change but yourself. Period, point blank. You go within. So I think self-concept is key. Shout out to Kim Bellis. She was one of the first few people who taught self-concept. I've adopted it now because I've lived through my own self-concept journey, and I look back at old versions of me and I say no more. But I also don't want to keep living in the past. I have to let it go. I'm a different version of me. I've moved on with my life, and that's where I step into. And I love my life, and I create the highest version of me. And that's just the way it is. That's the way life is, because my life is always getting better and better. And the better it gets, the better it gets. And everything always works out for me, and life is always supporting me. And also, I am divinely protected. I am divinely supported. And I believe this, and I operate from this place. But I do want you to go easy on yourself. We're always in process. We're all human. We're always in process. And we get to a new level, and then new beliefs show up, and that's okay. So what you learn throughout this process is that, now I know how to shift this. Now I know how powerful I am. And I believe in my worth and value and in my power. And I can shift this at any time, because circumstances don't matter. And I can flip this on its head to get exactly what I want, because life is always supporting me. So those are my big 3 steps for manifesting. But if I make them simple, get very clear about what you want, including the emotion and the feeling tied to whatever it is you want, then figure out what your wish fulfilled is, get into techniques of imagining yourself having, being, and doing the good that you want in your life. And then number 3, self-concept, the elevated, highest version of you who gets to keep the amazingness that they draw into their life, because you're absolutely worthy. Okay, I hope that helped you. Thank you for joining me today on this video. I'm going to be traveling in the next couple of weeks again, going out of town. So you have to follow me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all my other social media accounts. You've signed up for my emails, because I'll be posting pictures and stuff and sending techniques. And I have a workshop next week, Thursday, Friday. It's 2-day. It's all about manifesting. You will have access to me, and you will be able to ask me specific questions about your situation. It's very moderately priced, $64 for 2 days. You have the recordings for life. If you can't attend live, it's so worth it, because this is what I'm going to be going over. This is like my manifestation mastermind. It covers everything: Abraham Hicks, Neville, a little bit of everything, Bashar, really spiritual universal laws. Mostly law of assumption, because I'm a big law of assumption girl, but I cover everything because I think they all support each other. I'm not like just an absolutist that it's just one this way. I think we're always evolving and growing, and it's good to open yourself up and try different things. It's whatever works for you. Remember, you're the operant power. You get to decide. I'm just a guide helping you, but you're the powerful one. And I always want to help you step into your power. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I will see you on the next one.